The Browns dropped their new alternate helmets, and they fuck. I'm a huge fan of these new whiteout helmets. I even put on my throwback 75-year anniversary jersey because the Browns unveiled them today, and I love them. I know that the Browns don't maybe have the best uniforms or the best logo across all sports, but I love these new helmets here. We'll throw them on screen for you guys. We'll get some different pictures on there, some different angles. But they dropped a release video today of David Njoku wearing them, and he looks icy in them. The whiteout looks elite. I'm a big fan of these new helmets. I'm curious what everyone's watching, their thoughts are, but there's no big X's and O hard take here other than I like them. It's just that put. It's, I like him or don't like him kind of thing, and I am a fan of these new whiteout helmets. The all-white kind of color rush-ish with some nice brown and orange sprinkled into the uniform as well. How about this? The Browns are going to be faster with these helmets. I know that sounds crazy, but if you're wearing all white like that, I mean, how are you not better with these uniforms? But grade them for me. I want to get everyone's thoughts on the new helmets, the new alternate helmets. We're going to look at the schedule and all that stuff. But right off the bat, A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what your letter grade is for these new alternate helmets in the comment section. For me, I give it an A. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I'm going to get right to it. It's an A grade for me. I like the new helmets. I love the new helmets, actually. I don't know if I would change a thing about it. I think it is a less is more type of thing. They didn't put the numbers on the side. That might have crowded it a little bit. I think it's clean. I think it's simple. I love the whiteouts. I don't know what else to say. And I will say this. The Pittsburgh Steelers in week 2, they're fucked. I mean, that is just a simple fact at this point here. Because the Browns, under the lights, Monday Night Football, Joe Buck on the call, all white, Browns by 90. Screw that. Browns by 900. They are going to kick Pittsburgh shit in. I know I've gotten a bit away with this video, but I don't care. I'm just that excited for football to come back, and we are getting that much closer. Rookies are going to report to training camp today, so we're going to talk about that in the second half of the video. But the Pittsburgh Steelers week 2, the San Francisco 49ers in week 6, and the New York Jets, white out 2 of those 3 games under the lights. Yeah, good luck. I mean, there is just no way. The same way when the Bengals had their white tiger, didn't matter for the Miami Dolphins. Did not matter. There is just no way you beat a whiteout like that. It is going to be a scene in Cleveland for those 2 games. And like I said, if you are wearing whiteout under the lights, how are you not running faster? How are you not tackling harder? How are you not hitting harder? There is just something about look good, feel good, play good. And if you're looking like that picture and video from David Njoku of the throwback uniform, the white helmets, there is just a, football being above us. That's going to go, oh, those are icy uniforms. Yeah, the Browns have won today. The Browns have won before kickoff even. That's how big of a difference this is. I mean, sure, I'm getting a bit carried away ahead of my skis here, I know, but I don't care. I don't give a shit. That's how in love I am with these new helmets. Now, I will add that I feel like I've seen these helmets before. And as a Tennessee grad, I immediately thought, they kind of look like the new Tennessee alternate helmet that came out last year. I wonder where the connection is between Knoxville and Cleveland. Like Jimmy Haslam, he just slowly wants to bring Tennessee football to Cleveland, right? He had Jalen Hyatt come on a pre-draft visit. They drafted Cedric Tillman. He basically said, take Tennessee's alternate helmet from last year and strip the T off the side, and poof, we've got our new alternate helmet. So, Jimmy Haslam, I see you. I know what you're doing. So, you can't pull a fast one on all of us right now, Jimmy. But I still like the helmets. I love the helmets. They are fresh. They are dope. There's really nothing more that needs to be said about it, right? These are great helmets in my eyes. Now, what I'm excited for is that Week 2 post-game show, because now that I know the Browns are wearing those whiteout color rush almost uniforms, the Steelers are screwed. There's just no other way around it. You can't beat the Browns in a whiteout like that under the lights on Monday Night Football. So get ready for electric post-game shows. The Browns just picked up 3 guaranteed wins. That's the way I look at it. The Cleveland Browns are at minimum 3-13 this year. They're not losing in any of those games. They will go undefeated in the whiteouts. So if you are ready for those post-game shows, hit that sub button down below so you do not miss them. Now, the second half of today's show, I wish I could spend 8 minutes talking about new helmets, but we do have some real news, in adjacent to the helmet edition right now, of the rookies reporting to training camp. So the Browns and the Jets start their training camp practices a week earlier or so than everyone else because they are in the NFL Hall of Fame game. So the rookies reported to Berea today, and I wanted to just kind of run through 3 rookies I am most excited for. So let's start things off with the defensive tackle Siaka Ika, the former Baylor Bear, because I think Ika's going to have a real opportunity to come away from training camp with a starting role. When we look at Cleveland's depth chart for the 500th time this offseason, there is a big gap between Dalvin Tomlinson and Zadarius Smith, right? Who's going to get that other run-stopping defensive tackle job? When it's 1st and 10 and the other team is going to run the football, who's going to be out there next to Dalvin Tomlinson? Will it be Ika? Will it be Elliott? Will a second-year player in Jordan Elliott or second-year starter hold on to his gig? Will it be Perion Winfrey, 4th-round pick out of Oklahoma last year? I'll say this much for Ika. He could not be at a better spot right now to win the training camp battle because an extended training camp in an extra preseason game is going to get more tape out there for him and more of an opportunity to beat out Jordan Elliott for that starting role. So if I'm Siaki Ika, I'm feeling pretty good at least about having an opportunity to win the starting role because training camp is long, but it's not usually long enough for rookies to establish themselves over veteran players. But an extra week against a veteran player who was really bad last year, yeah, Ika could come out of this thing in September as this team's starting defensive tackle if he plays well. Before we get to my other 2 rookies I'm very excited to watch, how about the new Browns alternate logo t-shirt? The dog pound, if you will. I ordered mine yesterday, so once it gets into my apartment, I'll be bringing it onto the show and wearing it so you guys can see it. But make sure you get yours today. It's on sale, and those sales at Fanatics don't run forever. So go to chatsports.com/CLEdog. That link's in the comments and the description of today's video. Second player I am most excited for, speaking of Tennessee football, is Cedric Tillman. So he's going to have an interesting role this year. He might not get a high volume of targets just because of how crowded the wide receiver room is. But I think Cedric Tillman's going to come out of 2023 with Browns fans feeling a lot more comfortable about the direction of their wide receiver room, with big question marks looming over Donovan Peoples-Jones and Amari Cooper regarding their future in Cleveland. So if Cedric Tillman kind of shows out and shows up in training camp, he might not get a ton of targets in the 2023 season, but we're going to feel a lot better going into 2024. Yeah, crazy how that, or 2024 next year, going, wow, we have Elijah Moore, Cedric Tillman was a beast, and David Bell, and maybe we retain DPJ or Amari Cooper. So I think Cedric Tillman is someone that is going to have a good training camp. He had a good mini camp in OTAs, and that's all they are, OTAs and mini camp. But still, I'm excited to see what my former Tennessee Volunteer can do up by the lake. Now, which draft pick were you right on? Meaning, we all have our misses when it comes to the NFL draft. Manziel, hand up. But let me know which pick you were right on, for better or for worse. Meaning, you knew that guy would suck, and he did suck, a.k.a. Brandon Weeden. Or not many people were talking about this guy, and you were really high on him, and he ended up delivering and being a very productive player for the Browns. Let me know which pick you were right on. I'm all over the Cedric Tillman pick, and I can't wait to be proven correct because I think he is going to be a stud for the Cleveland Browns for years to come. Third and final player that I am excited to watch for, this is not a draft pick by the Browns, but a priority UDFA signing. Mohamoud Diabate. I practiced it 100 times before we started filming, and I still got it wrong. But he does come into a linebacker room that doesn't have a lot of clarity at the top, right? When is Anthony Walker and Taki going to be 100% ready to play? Is JOK ready to go? Can Tony Fields take on a bigger workload? What about Jacob Phillips? He was also on IR last season. So there is a lot of question marks at the linebacker position, and Diabate can be someone who fills in and takes an opportunity and runs with it. His last year in college football, he Originally started at Florida and then transferred to Utah for one final season. 32 tackles, 13.5 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, and a forced fumble. He put up really good numbers in Salt Lake City. So this is a player that the Browns were high on. After the draft was over, they gave him $250,000 to be a UDFA signing. I mean, $250,000 isn't nothing. I mean, it is to billionaires, but still, it's a good chunk of change. So he was definitely someone that Cleveland wanted to get once the draft was over. And I think Cleveland is a great place to be if you are a linebacker that is trying to make the roster that's on the bubble. The Browns are a great team to be on because they have some injuries at the top of the linebacker food chain, and they might take on an extra linebacker just as insurance. And so Mohamoud Diabate could be someone that sneaks onto this Cleveland Browns roster because they don't know when they're going to get Walker or Taki back. So this is someone I'm excited to see. I think he has a real shot of making the 53-man roster. Of course, he needs to have an excellent training camp in preseason. The odds are stacked against him as a UDFA. But if you want to sound smart in the bar and be like, you want to know who's going to, turn some heads and be a good sleeper to make this roster, that linebacker out of Utah, the Browns signed after the draft. So those are the 3 rookies I am most excited to watch during training camp. And I love the new helmets. I'm just going to end it with that. Love the new helmets. But it is time to pick a card. We've got Mr. Matthew McCullough behind the camera today. Tex, what card do you want to go with?
Let's do the 10 of spades.
10 of spades? I think we did the 4 of spades yesterday. So you're keeping it in the same column. Just going, is column the up and down in Excel?
Vertical.
Okay,
vertical.
Then rows are left and right.
Yes.
Yeah, big Excel guy here. Okay, so you're going to go 10 of spades. I'm going to go 2 of diamonds. All right, one more cut. Oh, you were close, dude. 8 of spades. 8 of spades. Okay, that is it for today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys later.